Hey guys, how are we doing?
Yo, Kev. What's
We're
up?
we're brewing the new Radagast from the Lord of the Rings set.
Oh,
Yeah.
what does the deck do?
Well, we just wrote it down. Birthing Pod Proliferate, Super Friends, Primal Surge, Beast Tribal with an Aether Flux finisher and a Mutate package.
All right, you guys have fun with this. Science has gone a little too far.
What? It's only midnight.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Josh from Elder Drunken Highlander.
And I'm Austin. And
Also from Elder Drunken
welcome
Highlander.
to the Drunk Tank.
It's unhinged. We're unhinged time. It's the unofficial drunk tank segment, ladies and gentlemen. We have two Radagast decks, so that means the title of this video is probably going to be something that makes people click on it, like Radagast Deckbuilder's Guide to talk about. And we're going to talk about our process building it. All these ridiculously cool synergies with Radagast. There's a really cool Radagast package that if you just want to know what to put in your Radagast deck and then buzz off,
we
got you there.
we definitely have the
Close
beasts.
that. Yeah, we got it. So we'll just get right to it. Before we do anything, it's Thrix the Sudden Storm, Wirewood Symbiote, Garruk's Pack Leader, and Elemental Bond. Those are the cards. Those are the Radagast cards. You're welcome. If that's all you came for, you can click off the video now. Yeah,
And now if you want to see the spiciest elements of the deck,
we have two of them.
so, I guess since we're already here, I'll start. This is the one that we finished brewing, like, not even 10 minutes before we started recording.
It's, of course, classic Elder Drunken Highlander fashion. Austin came with a deck that was like,
Half-built and only creatures.
just like with the old Gnawbone deck, where I was like, I made this deck at 2 a.m. and it's like a really good deck, but it's missing something, and I need you to fix it. It's the same thing. He came to me. He was like, I have this deck, and it's like missing a little bit, and I was like, it needs more absurdity.
So,
We added Aether Flux Reservoir.
like, here. We'll go through the description one more time slowly for everyone to understand. Birthing Pod Proliferate, Super Friends, Primal Surge, Beast Tribal with an Aether Flux finisher and a Mutate package.
That's accurate. It's like actually what the deck.
That is everything this deck wants to do.
It's so fucking cringe, but it's so true.
Because, like, starting off, we've got Radagast. Gives everything ward. Gives your beasts and your birds ward. We could have made a bird deck.
And
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
We went beasts.
We went for the beasts. Yeah, we don't need to explain the birds and the beasts. We're just going to explain the beasts.
And his cast trigger.
Yeah, that's the best part of Radagast, right? You make a 3/3 beast or a bird sometimes. Every time you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater.
But we do use the birds to get our bird. Because in our 1-drop slot, we have Birds of Paradise.
That's where the birthing pod comes in.
We can get Birds of Paradise with Birthing Pod.
And
off
Pyro Heroes, yeah.
And
Beasts.
beautiful. Yeah.
That's great.
It's
So,
great.
yeah, there's a lot going on with this deck, and it's doing like everything. The layering and the synergy is absolutely crazy with it. Just allow me to explain. Actually, that would take too much time. Allow me to sum up. Basically,
Have at it.
Basically, you have a nice birthing pod package where you can go up through everything from 0 CMC, sacrificing a token, all the way up to the top of your deck, where the top end is mostly your 7-drop cards. Over here, you have your Protean Hulk, which is a value Protean Hulk. It doesn't win you the game, but it gets you all the goods, and this Phyrexian Jester. You also, just going up through this way, you also have a really cool combo with Paleoloth at the top of your birthing pod line, where if you get River Kelpie has persist, so it comes back. You can infinitely sacrifice this with Metallic Mimic, but that's not what we're talking about right now. You don't have any way to do that in this deck. It's just cool. When you sacrifice into birthing pod, you get a 6-drop. Your 6-drop is Paleoloth. Then it comes back with persist. The next turn you sacrifice it again, get another 6-drop. That's Kodama. And now whenever you sacrifice a creature with birthing pod or Pyre of Heroes or what have you, you can get a creature back with Paleoloth as long as you're getting something with power 5 or greater, and then continue your pod from whatever mana value you want. So for example, let's say you sacrifice a 5-drop. Let's say you sacrifice my lad, my child Thragtusk, right? And you get yourself a 6-drop. You get yourself Woodland Bellower. That's going to trigger Paleoloth and put any creature you want back into your hand. So you want to get a 2-drop next. So you put a 1-drop back into your hand, like Arboreal Grazer, cast that puppy, and then next turn you can get yourself a Metallic Mimic to do dirty, disgusting, nasty things with your River Kelpie. So you can do whatever you want from that point with the Kodama Paleoloth, because Kodama also puts the card into play. I said cast that puppy, but like Kodama just like
puts it.
Just puts it into play, because what you do is you stack the triggers. So Paleoloth triggers, and then puts the card in your hand, and then Kodama triggers, and you put the card into play, because it's going to have less converted mana cost. So it allows you to actually scale down on your pod line, so you can just pod forever, baby. You just pod every single turn. You don't run out of stuff to pod to, because you just go back down. It's great. It's really, really cool, and I love that part about the deck. And because of that, we added this Vivian. This is where it starts to get unhinged. We added the pod Vivian. And we added a few other planeswalkers for card advantage too, and we thought, oh, we should be proliferating because we're also making +1/+1 counters with a metallic mimic.
Yes.
So we put in also like Garruk's make beasts, Vivian makes beasts. It just seemed.
Oh, and speaking of making beasts, we also have Rampaging Baloths, which
Yeah.
goes into this Kodama combo because we can infinitely
Yeah.
loop lands from our hand onto the board using our bounce lands. Yes, that's right, bounce lands like Guildless Commons and Simic Growth Chamber. They let us win the game, and you know what we get to do with those beasts? Not only are we going to swing to kill you with those beasts, we are going to sacrifice them to our Ravenous Baloth to gain 4 life over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until we can power our big old cow fat laser.
Can you just say cow families?
Well, what else are we powering it with at this point? This is what happens when you brew decks at midnight, ladies and gentlemen and other. And we should probably talk about the fact that there's a mutate package because
Well, we didn't even finish talking about what happens with the Aetherflux Reservoir.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so the cool thing about the Aetherflux Reservoir, before we get into the mutate package, Austin, hold on, is that you all put it into play off of our good friend and only non-permanent card, you guessed it, Primal Surge. And so you can put the whole thing into play. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, Josh, technically it doesn't work every time. What if you get bounce land, Kodama? Then, or I'm sorry, what if you get like, yeah.
yeah, bounce land, Kodama.
No, because then you bounce land, Kodama. Because then you have a bounce land stuck in your hand, no way to put it into play if you already made your land drop return. You can't win with that combo off the Primal Surge. Well, guess what?
We thought of that.
This. Yeah, we came prepared for that with Krosan Wayfarer in the deck. So we can sacrifice this guy to put the bounce land back into play and then do the loop. Let's say we get totally like blown out from that and we can't do that. Well, we do have a Chromos Memorial in our 7-drop slot right here to give things haste. And let's say they blow us out from that too. We also have Uvenwald Oddity, which costs...
He's
4
right there,
here.
yeah. But he's 7 to activate, but you'll Primal Surge. You'll have enough mana.
You got all the lands into play untapped from Primal Surge to put this
But
guy.
we got an Anthem.
Let's say they completely BTFO us with a Cyclonic Rift. Well,
we have a Shia.
yeah, you can't Cyclonic
we
Rift
thought of
our
that.
lands, and our creatures will be lands. So yeah, and
We thought of that.
They can't get the Ovenwall Oddity will stick because of a Shia. So once we Primal Surge, we're not gonna lose the game. It's not happening unless you sudden spoiling us.
Yeah,
No, you can't do anything about that one. You can't do anything about that one. I thought about putting a way to shuffle cards back into the deck, but you know what? That's for cowards.
yeah, we don't need
Yeah, we
that.
don't need to do that. You could do that if you want. I'm sure there's just a bazillion ways you could do it. But that's
the
the whole
deck.
thing, except for the mutate package.
Now
The
I
best
get
thing about the mutate package
yes.
is
The best thing about the mutate package is when we cast mutates, it still counts them as their top CMC, not what you're casting the mutate for. Some of the higher mana cost mutate targets, let's see, like this guy, his Sawtusk, he costs 4 to use, but it's a 6-drop, so we get a beast or a bird whenever we use this mutate. And then we also get a beast for mutating.
and you can mutate under Radagast, right?
Yes.
Which then turns him into a beast.
Yep.
Which
So
means he gets an extra ward.
Yep. Oh, wait. I didn't realize that until you just told me.
Yeah, so Radagast, right, by our lad Radagast, the beautiful stoner wizard that he is, has ward 1 and give beasts and birds ward 1. So if he becomes, instead of an avatar wizard, not a human, because he's a Maiar, bitch, he gets ward 1, and then since he's a beast, he gets ward 1 on top of that from his own ability, because it doesn't say other beasts and birds you control, it just said beasts and birds you control. So you mutate under Radagast, and he gets ward 1 and becomes a beast, and then you have a nice super protected mutate pile. So the thing that people don't like about mutate is, like, you know, it's weak to removal. It's now got ward 1 plus ward 1, so it's 2 ward triggers to put on the stack, so they can't even stifle it. Not that they would stifle a ward 1, because that's silly, but yeah. Kind of cool. Kind of spicy. I thought that's why you did it, but you just did it because you want to have beasts with Ward 1, huh?
I just like being able to cast beasts for lesser mana.
We just wanted to make the deck more complicated, but it turns out it's actually good.
This deck has so many layers. We're still discovering things about it.
Alting a Planeswalker is just another way to win with this deck
Because we have a
proliferate.
We have a proliferate package with Bloated Contaminator, Contagion Vorak,
Plague Mob Beast.
Plague Mob. Yes. Where is this bad boy? He's right here. Tap, sack a creature, proliferate.
Yeah, and that works with all of our sacrifice stuff with River Kelpie and our Thragtusk and our other things that like dying too.
Yeah, the Kelpie's great. Ursapine.
We talked about it in the Gnawbone video. If you haven't seen it, check that video out because that's another deck that's just insanely layered and silly.
Much fun.
You just make a ton of mana with Ursapine, and you can control combat because you can buff your blockers, you can buff your attackers, you can buff your opponent's blockers, your opponent's attackers. It's never safe to attack with an Ursapine on the battlefield, no matter who you are, unless you're the person who controls the Ursapine, of course.
Exactly.
Tesla Seeker finds Birthing Pod.
The only walker in this deck that actually just comes out to die.
Yeah, he's there to get Birthing Pod or Aether Flux. That's your purpose, Tez. Sorry, buddy. Although, if you can get Pyre of Heroes, you can use Tez to untap Pyre of Heroes, which is kind of spicy. You could Pyre of Heroes twice in a turn.
True. He does have the purpose of untapping our pod and our Pyre.
Yeah, he can untap Pyre of Heroes and Pod and Soul Ring to pay for Pyre of Heroes, too.
And Ring of Three Wishes, because we're in blue-green and we're stuck with permanents.
Yeah, we really need ways to get that Primal Surge into our hands.
So we also, and it's not even just the Primal Surge, but also our artifact package, because a lot of the artifact stuff that we could have run to search for stuff didn't get for CMC. That's the one they haven't done.
Yeah, we are also on the classic Expedition map and Inventors Fair package too. Of course. With Urza Saga as well to help like make that a little bit more consistent. This is one of the reasons our decks kind of get a little pricey because I'm a big fan of packages like Urza Saga, Expedition map, and Inventors Fair in decks. And then the things that you have to put around that to enable it sometimes are also kind of expensive. Yeah. And it's just like I enjoy sticking those kind of staple packages into decks, and it makes things expensive. You don't need shit like that to run our deck. You can cut that stuff for like a couple mana rocks that you like, and it's totally fine. Like our decks are unnecessarily optimized, to be honest with you.
I look at building a deck like a piece of art. I don't always have access to the cards themselves, but I can make a really cool deck with all the cards that I have seen and know about in Magic. So why not?
Exactly.
And we have proxies.
Yeah. In our videos, they're more as a service inspiration for deck building than like things that we want people to net deck. If you net deck our decks, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I'll
go
super
ham.
If you
That'd
do
be
that.
awesome.
That makes me feel really good. But like, it's more not really the intent of the video. The video is for you to look at stuff and be like, okay, I actually really like the Aether Flux Reservoir Beast package. I'm gonna put that in my like black-green Beast deck. Or something like that. So it's more to serve as inspiration for you building your own ridiculous jank stuff. Because like, come on, that's what it's all about. And those are the decks we love to see on our Discord.
The Elder Drunken Highlander Brewery never closes. Speaking of which, we have another Radagast deck because we both independently built Radagast decks.
Yeah, we do.
Hashtag Stoner Wizard.
Yeah. This one is called Heard You Is Talking Smack, Heard Like the Beast Heard. Come over here and say that to my face. And the reason I say that is because when you come over here, you stay over here because it's a theft deck, baby.
So
Turns
charming.
out there's a lot of 5 CMC theft spells that are really good. And we're on the package, the Kodama package as well. We're just not running an infinite with it. And we're on the good Radagast package, which is this Wirewood Savage, this Thrix, the Sudden Storm, this Garruk's Pack Leader, and the 5 CMC spells. You just cast them. And in our case, the 5 CMC spells are... I hate this card so much.
Why is he so good?
I actually hate this card, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to play it in my theft deck. It's just a theft deck with a bunch of classic bangers for spells.
Recurring Insight is a sneaky thief card.
These should probably be in your Beast deck. Just
Seagate Restoration?
More unnecessarily complicated and silly.
I do like more unnecessarily complicated and silly.
We're on like some
Reign of
classic
Thorns
bangers from old school Commander.
Genesis Wave?
Yeah, I just really felt like playing Genesis Wave. It's such a satisfying card. But then other than that, we have just like a lot of theft. Let's get to the theft package right now. Here's some more instance. There's a theft card, but like we're here for the enchantments and look at them.
My gosh.
We'll just go down the line. We got Yavamaya's Abrased Spirit Away. We're running literally all of them. This is just for fun. Literally all the ones at 5 CMC plus that steal something that are good, even like questionable ones.
Fool's Demise is amazing.
Biting Tether, putting a -1/-1 counter on each turn. We're still on it. Who cares? I'm not on Royal Elemental because I don't like that card. I think it really... I don't like Agent of Treachery because I think it's It's kind of bullshit. But I think Royal Elemental just like absolutely warps games around it, and I'm not a fan of like the table reaction to Royal Elemental. So I don't have it.
Always
but that
sucks.
is another great card for this deck if you like Royal Elemental. So I just don't have it. I wanted to mention that card because it's good here. I would cut Fool's Demise for it if you're doing that. It's a really simple deck. You cast a 5 CMC Theft spell. You destroy an opponent's creature by stealing it. You get a creature by stealing it. You get a 3/3 beast, and then your beast payoff triggers, and you draw 1 or more cards, which means that you can probably do it again the next turn. It's very, very fair for a theft. You're just going in, stealing stuff, and making beasts and punching people to death. There's no combo. I've been on such a fair Magic deck kick lately. It's very un-Elder Drunken Highlander of me. I'm glad you picked up the slack with the ridiculous deck this time, because it's...
This deck is just very, like, humbly coming to the table for a good time. And my deck's like, I brought the pain.
Hello, I am here to cast my theft enchantments once per turn and then draw a card and steal your stuff. And Austin's like, okay, that's cute, kiddo. I'm going to cast Primal Surge. You're going to Psychic me? Nah, a Shia.
There's too many layers for you to get through.
It's just like impossible to win once he's got it. You better counterspell. You better use your Jwari Disruption. Yeah, I put a good amount of interaction. There's just a lot of staple interaction in this deck. I don't think you actually need all the staple interaction. Why is this card $42? Just
Wait, it
proxy
went up again?
Please, for the love of God, just proxy Cyclonic Rift. I promise I won't get mad at you. I promise. Just proxy it.
Yeah.
Just proxy it. Oh my God.
The price shouldn't be this restrictive.
If people get mad that they don't have a Psych Rift and you do because you proxy, just print out a sheet of them and give them to people. I don't care. But oh my God, that's not any card that you have to justify not running in your deck because it's that ubiquitous, that good. Even in competitive EDH, it's like in a lot of decks. It, like,
hence the 42.
yeah, it's
Honestly, that's the collector's price.
yeah, it
like,
shouldn't be that expensive. Proxy it. And you know what? Every time we get into a proxy rant, that basically means we're at the end of the video.
Essentially.
So I think we're at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching.
Enjoy Magic, and price shouldn't be a barrier.
Yeah.
And, you know?
If you want to play Magic without price as a barrier, you could join us on our Discord where we have an LFG chat where we play with proxies, simulators. We don't fucking care what you do. You wanna write all the names of your cards on a piece of paper? As long as I can read it, I don't care. You want to use the Moxfield play tester? Go for it. Play whatever decks you want. You don't even need to own the cards on our Discord, and it's very fun. You could play against like me or Kevin or maybe Austin one day if he ever stops being so busy and elusive on the internet.
The aloofness.
Yeah, he do elusive. that's what it is. We also have a Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter.
We're both there.
Yeah, we have a Patreon. I always
Oh
forget
yeah,
the Patreon.
we do have the
We
Patreon.
put names in videos, and there are other perks. You can do that if you want to give us money.
Yep. And when in doubt, if you just want to browse our decks, go to the Moxfield.
Yeah, we should really plug the Moxfield more because it's
We
actually
have
so
so many
cool.
decks in
We have,
here.
like over 100 decks on there at this point,
And
they're
some of
all-
them aren't even listed.
Yeah, well, most of them are unlisted because I only unlist the ones that I think are finished.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's just a lot of cool stuff on there. So if you want to like get a peek on the next thing that might be in a video, or if you want to see like what I'm doing for CEDH stuff, because I tool around with like my 4 CEDH decks a lot, a good place to check. Yeah, we're super rambling now. So
It's been
thanks
a good
for
night.
watching. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, stay janky, my friends,
And
and
untap, upkeep,
drink.
drink.
Jesus fucking shit.
Yep.
I was not prepared for holy garbage.
Beware the beast.
Fucking cow laser.
You'll never look at Aetherflux the same again.
I mean, that's what you're doing. You're sacrificing animals to power a laser. That's kind of fucked up.
It's very blue-green.
This game's fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, so we made an Aristocrats deck by accident. See what I mean? It does whatever it wants.
This deck is stupid. This deck shit. I need to play this deck a lot. This
Yeah.
deck is awesome.
I mean, the deck is a
Paxton's
little slow because
real
of how
solid.
high it is.
Yeah.
CMC wise.
Same.